So Deontay Wilder came out and stated why he turned down the DAZN offer on an interview with 78. He stated that he turned down the DAZN offer due to the fact that they wasn't prepared. When he went to the meeting, him and his team had a couple questions as far as, is the Anthony Joshua fight going to be guaranteed on DAZN, etc., etc. However, DAZN couldn't guarantee certain things as far as the Anthony Joshua fight, and they didn't have answers for certain questions. So due to the lack of preparation, they had to cancel the meeting. Apparently DAZN assumed as soon as Wilder sees the money they were offering, he was finna take it, not questioning anything, not asking for anything. They thought he was finna chase them for the bag that they were offering. But Wilder, he knows his worth. He also knows that he's the most popular heavyweight in the world today, and ESPN co-signs that because he don't even fight on ESPN, and he's ranked number 34 as far as most popular athlete in the world today. And that's why DAZN offered an apology to Deontay Wilder because of the lack of preparation during the meeting. And that's exactly why it's hard to believe anything that Eddie Hearn says or come out of his mouth, because as soon as this information came out that Wilder turned down the DAZN offer, Eddie Hearn was so quick to say, I told y'all Wilder is ducking Anthony Joshua. And this is the proof. When he knows damn well Anthony Joshua himself is not exclusive to DAZN. He only has a deal where it's a fight-to-fight deal. So even if Wilder signs to DAZN, the Anthony Joshua fight is not guaranteed. And that's why Wilder didn't take the offer and went his own route. Because to be honest, looking back at it, he betting on himself, just like Floyd Mayweather did. Now, of course, they gave him a nice offer of $120 million. But at the end of the day, if he beats Anthony Joshua, if he gets the Anthony Joshua fight, then he's a $1 billion man. Because now next time he goes to the negotiation table, he done tripled his worth, maybe quadruple his worth. So if the Anthony Joshua fight was not guaranteed on DAZN, why would he sign to DAZN? Because Anthony Joshua, if y'all remember, he was already fighting for Showtime. Wilder was already fighting on Showtime. And it was Anthony Joshua who decided to go and fight on DAZN. So to refresh y'all memory and also to debunk anything that Eddie Hearn said, because we all know Eddie Hearn likes to contradict himself almost every day, including Anthony Joshua, because we know Anthony Joshua came to the US and when he started doing interviews, he done told like 120 lies. On the Breakfast Club interview, I mean, it was so many contradictions that I can't even keep up with. So let's go through the timeline again. And this is all facts. Y'all could look it up and research these things. So Wilder, we all know he wanted the fight as bad as he wanted to breathe. You could hear in his tone, he really lowballed himself trying to make the fight happen. Because at the time, Anthony Joshua was really trying to lowball Wilder. He sent him an offer of $12 million flat fee, which was a joke at the time, because he offered Joseph Parker 34%, but he's gonna offer Wilder $12 million flat fee. How that don't even make sense, because Wilder is the more famous and the more established champion. So how you gonna offer Joseph Parker more money and a higher percentage than you do to Wilder? But believe it or not, Wilder actually agreed to the offer as long as Anthony Joshua take the same offer in return for the rematch if Wilder wins. And believe it or not, Anthony Joshua turned it down. Apparently he must believe he's gonna lose, because if he would win, he don't gotta worry about that. But to each your own. Now move past that, Anthony Joshua came on an interview saying, hey, wire me $50 million guaranteed. If that's the case, if you think this is such a big fight, and I will send you the contract the next day. Basically, he will sign the contract the next day. And that's exactly what Wilder did. In front of the world, he does that. He said, yo, I'll send you the $50 million offer you asked for. On top of that, 50-50 split on the pay-per-view revenue. And Anthony Joshua was so quick to turn it down. And that's exactly what he asked for. So this is the second time negotiations fell through because Anthony Joshua asked for something that he wanted and then says no to it. After that, Anthony Joshua and his team came up with all type of excuses such as, where's the proof of funding? Then when Wilder shows him the proof of funding, then it's, we don't want to fight in the US. So why are you asking for the proof of funding when you're not even interested in the offer to begin with? Then Anthony Joshua countered the offer and lowballing Wilder again, sending him only $15 million, I believe, to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK. So Deontay Wilder, being fed up with the back and forth, he decided to take the lowball offer of $15 million, which shocked a lot of people, and fight Anthony Joshua in his hometown in the UK. Because like Wilder says, I'm the world champion. I'll fight you anyway. Believe it or not, though, Eddie Hearn most likely paid the WBA to mandate Povetkin to fight Anthony Joshua, which we all know a unification trumps a mandatory position. But Anthony Joshua and his team wanted a way out so bad because of course they didn't want the fight. Lowballing Wilder. They didn't expect Wilder to take the lowball offer and continue and pursuing on fighting them. So they had to find a way out, and that's the way out is to fight somebody who just got busted for PED, and they chose to fight that person instead of the world champion Wilder, who was the champion before Anthony Joshua was. Keep in mind, Wilder won his belt. Anthony Joshua, all his belts that he has so far is really Tyson Fury belts. So what Wilder does next, he fight Ortiz, knocks him out when Ortiz was known as the boogeyman, and Anthony Joshua did the most to avoid him at the time. I mean, they lied to the man, they kicked him to the curb, and all this that I'm stating is facts and could be proven. Wilder knocks him out, knocks the boogeyman out, gave him 2 chances, matter of fact. Then Wilder fights Fury, and either you thought Fury won or not, Wilder came in light as hell, and he was still able to put Fury on his ass twice. So if he managed to win 2 rounds early or 3 rounds, that's a draw right there. If you agree with the decision or not, that don't matter, because at the end of the day, he knocked down Fury, who was not the champion, and Fury did not beat the count. He did not beat the 10 count, but hey, the referee let it go on, and it is what it is. So a draw should be fine with either side, because like I said, Fury didn't really even beat the 10 count. That should have been a knockout. Now, after that, Fury ducks the rematch. He acted like he wanted a rematch. Now he ducked the rematch. He ran all the way to ESPN, and we all know he ducked the rematch. Now think about it. Is it such a bad idea for Wilder to turn down a DAZN offer? No, because at the end of the day, if Wilder's able to get the Anthony Joshua on pay-per-view, because what Anthony Joshua says, 3 years ago, when Eddie Hearn wanted the fight, and he came out stating that he will knock Wilder out in 3 rounds, Anthony Joshua came out quick saying, hey, you ain't fighting for me. We ain't fighting Wilder till 220. It's going to happen on my turf. I ain't ready, basically. And guess what? It's almost 2020. So, hey, Anthony Joshua is right. He wanted this fight in 2020. He probably get it in 2020. But this time, Wilder ain't taking no low blows no more. He been through too much. And at the end of the day, like I said before, Wilder at least and should get 50-50 with Anthony Joshua, because he brings to the table just as much as Anthony Joshua, if not even more, because he's the most popular heavyweight fighter in the world. And like I said, ESPN supports that and co-signs that, because he don't even fight for ESPN, and they have him rated as the most famous heavyweight fighter in the world. And like I said, if he fight Anthony Joshua, he could make up to $100 million just fighting Anthony Joshua. That's the whole DAZN deal right there in one fight. So is it really such a bad idea to not sign with DAZN? Absolutely not. And that's why you should believe in yourself. And that's what Wilder does. And he is a self-believer. And it got him far in his career. And his record doesn't lie. And he's going to make hella money fighting Brazil on Showtime. And his next fight should be a big fight if it's with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is willing to step up to the table and be fair. Or if it's versus Ortiz or Fury. No matter where Wilder goes, he's an important piece in the heavyweight division, because he's the longest reigning champion at the heavyweight division. Maybe in all boxing, he got the highest knockout percentage. He brings electricity every time he fights. He draws high ratings. And with the Fury fight, they sold 300,000 pay-per-views in the US and 700 in the UK. That's a total of 1 million pay-per-views sold just in 2 countries. So at the end of the day, like I said, Wilder is a money machine. And as long as he keeps on winning, he's going to keep on tripling his money. So, no, he did not make a mistake by not signing with DAZN. Matter of fact, looking back at it, from all the backlash he received for no reason, he made the right decision. Because you don't sign a deal just because of money without fights that's guaranteed for you, such as fights that the fans want to see. Doesn't everybody claim that they want to see the Fury rematch that Fury ducked? The Anthony Joshua fight that Anthony Joshua doesn't want to take but keep pretending like he does. If y'all want to see these fights, then if Wilder signs with DAZN, these fights might not happen, because first of all, Fury fights with ESPN, so that's not going to happen. And then, like I said, Anthony Joshua is not signed with DAZN. And can DAZN really pay for that fight? Because at the end of the day, how are they going to get the revenue for that fight? Pay-per-view, if they sell 1 million pay-per-view, hey, they could get their money off that. However, with DAZN, it's not a pay-per-view sale. So, like I always say, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these casual-ass fans. And peace.
I fell in love with these streets, I seen 100,000. Started fucking bad bitches, I was running wild. I just pray Bobby forgive me, ain't seen my son in a while. I go and pick him up from school to see him fucking smile. Somebody said me, trying to please a bitch, it almost drove me crazy. I was breaking bread with niggas that was shitty. I said I would never change, but shit had changed. Somebody said me, 23 and 1, it almost drove me crazy. In the cell all alone, can't let it phase me. I just wanna make it home to see my baby. I fell in love with these streets, I seen 100,000. Some choppers selling dope, I went